Hello, hello, everybody. Uh, so we're talking about siblings, and mine is comparable to a troll. I know somebody who's dealt with their sibling. Yeah, you know, I think that some people need to own, you know, a mirror before they start saying that other people are fat because you're going, honey, you know what? Let's just be honest. Some people try to mirror their own problems because some trolls, I'm like envious of their of their man boobs. I'm on a little early. I got kind of squirrely. I heard uh Mr. X's show, and it was so good, and I missed it. They talked about Ariana Grande, and I'm like, all the stuff going around about the whole thing with Ariana Grande when she was doing The Wizard and all the stuff, the movie, and it was like sensational. Yes, I loved it. It was just so beautiful. It really was. You know, it's just I also got to see someone get dangerously thin, and I'm thinking what kind of stuff was going on around there? So this show we are going to be talking about my sibling. And let me explain. I grew up with my sibling when we moved from California to Michigan, but for a while, my brother lived with Aunt Kenny, Uncle Kenny, and Aunt Gingy. And Aunt Gingy was, my family, for my mom. And he lived there for a short time and then moved, lived with my dad. And in that time, when you grow up and you reconnect with certain people, and I said, Aunt Kenny and Gingy lived in Illinois. They had a bar at one time. Well, she has it now. That's what I think. What happened? They had a bar. He got a barmaid. I don't know how old she was. 30 years younger than him, and got her pregnant. And my aunt, who owned the bar, they got a divorce. I don't know how they did it, if she ever got the bar back or what it was, but she she had her shit together, and she was one of my favorite aunts. It's just, you know, Gingy was a redhead, a ginger. And I'm not surprised because on my mom's side, there's, you have Scottish. Yeah, that's what you got. She was a Scottish woman. Yeah, so anyway, we are going to be talking about my sibling. For a while, he was called Voldemort, and then he decided to transition, at least from the waist up, he was a woman. And I don't know what he had going on down there, but he didn't have nothing changed. So for a long time, when he was skinnier than me, we'd go out somewhere and guys would be checking him out, and I'd go, just wait. You just watch the guys say something to my sibling. My sibling go, yeah, that's right. You got a big guy voice going, yeah. And you're like, they just looked at him like, oh my God, this is my horror story coming true. Ah! I watch it all the time. That's the only reason why I like to hang out with my sibling for a while, until my sibling got too full of itself and started telling me I wasn't worth anything. The only thing I can agree on with some people was, my I guess it'd be like my baby's daddy. They were right on the money. I should have I should have divorced him then. It would have been much easier. I really Oh, it is what it is. Anyway, we are talking about siblings. Mine. Yes, and I do think that my sibling is a troll in a sense. No, my sibling never trolls me. He's got better things to do. Thank goodness he's got other victims. That's how I feel though. I usually get rooked in, and this last time was a whole thing where he lied to me, and I just said, I can't deal with this shit no more. You know that. Yeah. So yeah. Um, my sibling has, let's just say, doesn't live in the state of California because if he gets another strike, he will be forever in the state of California. Yeah, so he's living in Florida now. I'm hoping he stays there because the last time every time I see him, he steals my identity or steals something from me. So I'm like, Jesus, I'm just like floored. 2017, he was using my stuff for medical because I had insurance to cover everything. Well, anyway, let's do some comedy on my brother and what I have done to make their lives a little more savory, I guess. Yeah, I'm wearing my Halloween stuff. I love this shirt. Hi, how are you? Yes, I am the Empress of Evil. But also, my siblings call me sister. They do the sign. Yes. Uh, my siblings had to follow behind me after I was done in high school. And a lot of my friends would go, yep, we hear about you all the time. My siblings had my shadow to deal with. So my dad, I finally sat him down when my brother was like, tell dad I can't be like you. Oh, he's starting on you. Look, you told Eric to be like me. All right. Let me just broaden your mind, Dad. I go, I think Eric's got bigger boobs than me. I think you should say, be yourself is the whole key, Dad. Just be yourself because if you're going to tell another son to go and be like me, he might have a bigger rack than me. And this is really getting tiring. Yeah, he quit doing that. I said, I'm not an example. I'm just someone there as here I am. I'm your sister. You got some questions. I am not better than you. I do certain things that you can't do, and you do certain things I can't do. There we are. We're human beings. We're learning, and that's the way it goes. So, yeah, my dad thought it was cool to sit there and state the fact that I needed, to make every. I said, Dad, it's making them feel like they're living in my shadow. It's hard enough that they're going to have several of my teachers who had me. I said, that's just hard enough. He goes, which one did I go? I pointed to some my brother had at the time. I'm like, I had two of them. One's cool. Mishler will be fine. And I was right on the money. My dad said he was a real, he would tell me certain things that, I would, oh, I forgot to do something here. Yeah. Oh, my dad. Oh man, I forgot to do something real quick and I got to do it. Oh, all right. Okay. Okay. All right. So I'm like thinking to myself, wow, all right. All right. is. Oh, I got to do something with. Ah, just a little bit. Hey guys, I'm just wanting to do StreamYard real quick. Blah blah. It'll be just a quick second. Do, 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 do. I am on StreamYard right now. All right. All right. Okay. Do this. Oh, come on. So I'm just copying and pasting. That's what I'm doing. Do do do. Come on. Okay, copying and pasting. Okay, it's internet's just been kind of slow. Sorry about this. It's all right. It's been really, just hot. Oh, okay. There we go. All right, I'm gonna share. There we go. Okay. All right. That's what I needed to get done. All right, everyone. I'm in business. Okay, here we are. All right. Now, like I said, when I was a kid, I said I just took advantage of moments like hiding in my brother's closet and waiting for them to come in and scaring the crap out of them and not getting in any trouble. Because all my dad had to do was open up the blankets and there it would be, here is, I would have been all had out. But no, my dad was smart. He goes and thinks, yeah, you know, if he heads me out, he doesn't have a monster no more, does he? No. I'm like thinking that's smart. That's using your noodle. You don't have a monster if you get me in trouble. But boy, you got a really good monster if you don't say nothing. And boy, I've never seen why one stepbrother, Andy, gets so dressed so quick. We were like, damn, we should have invented a fucking monster for that kid. You just get ready. We were like looking at each other. Man, so it was during the time that Jane had realized that my dad wasn't going to ship his children out like English people do. And I said, we're not English. I just wanted to, emphasize on that. We're German, but we're not English. But apparently, she had this idea. I don't know if it was a family member or whatever, that we were going to send my brother and me out. It's just, like, toot darling. We'll see you on Christmas, darling. Bye. We'll rent out your room. Toodles. No, 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 no. My grandmother's like, you got to be joking me. No one in our family does that. Why are we going to do that now, Jane? Well, I needed to put that room as an exercise room because I don't know if I can go and have the audacity to go to a gym because I just feel the need to have. My dad's like, if you want a gym, you can put it in where you're sewing stuff that you don't use or anything over in the widow's watch. Suddenly, she shut up about it. It became like she wanted to kick us out. And I'm like, damn. Finally, my dad said, it was evening. He goes, you knew it was a package deal. It came with the kids and me. That means if I have to accept your son, you have to accept my children. Yes, it's one more than yours, but big deal. So I came home. It was first year of high school, and I come home, and her older daughter, and she's packing up shit, and I'm like, what she's moving. Huh. So I go, and there's a phone in the basement she didn't know about. And I'm like, yeah, I'm going to be right back. I go in the basement and call my dad. He goes, how are you calling me? Because mind you, this is the 80s. There's no cell phones. It was an old line. And I can see I was the only one besides, I think my brother could see the numbers, because it was old. So I dialed it. Oh, yeah, it was a dial one. And I called my dad at work and said, they're packing up now. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, I called him, and then he called. I went upstairs to act like nothing went on, and he called and said, anything taken. So yeah, I helped them pack. Oh yeah, I wanted her gone. She wanted, you know, and this is the thing. It's also a thing that my dad has told me, and I have realized it too. I don't. I'm going to be honest. I'm, that's like my thing. I'm If you marry one person, you marry the whole family. You gotta love them all. I don't care if somebody doesn't love you. You gotta love them. Gotta forgive them, and you gotta send them loving light. You don't have to kiss their ass or suck their farts. You just gotta learn to do that. Yeah, because that's the only way. You gotta do that. Because my dad said that there's going to be, you cannot make everyone happy. You just can't. And I get it too. You can't make everyone happy in this world, even in families. I always was pissing off my one brother. And I told my dad, you don't need to be telling him to be like me, be himself. Because if all the good things that you want him to be, he is. It's just, I used to get away with saying shit to people all the time, Dad. He goes, oh, yeah. Yeah, you forget that, Those one-liners that mostly get other people in trouble. But I called my dad, who was a corporate lawyer. Come on. They knew who you were, Dad. You know, what was it one said, God dang, I never, what was it? The one guy who was new and somebody, they have me and another person. One girl goes, oh, my bestie. And they were like, oh, the bad girl. Oh, we got the queen bee. He read me out. I'm like, oh, yeah, you know, I did run to high school, but it wasn't like what you think, it was mainly if things were going bad with people and people were being bullied, we let the right people know. Just like that one teacher. Yeah. She went and she was over at, I think, at Holly Elementary where they sent her. It was more her speed anyway. So yeah, I am looking to gain some funds. I am currently minus in the bank. So I'm looking, yeah, I paid my electric bill. So I know that's all paid off. I'm just broke as all can be. Hi, how are you? Welcome. Yes, we are doing comedy on my sibling. Oh, he was so fun. Oh man, I would just, I'm like sitting there. Has anyone ever been to Michigan, went to Zender's restaurant? It's the Christmas town. You go over to the Christmas town in Michigan and you go to these places. People wait in line and you have fucking a bunch of food. So here they had all these drumsticks. Usually when we go even to, our usual places that have chicken and stuff would not have much drumsticks. My brother's like eating it up, man. He's sitting there and I'm like, my dad goes, hey, Steph, you know where you get these? Oh, I knew right where it was going. Yeah, Dad, I know. I know right where to get them. Like, got to get that brown paper bag. And my dad looks at me and he goes, yeah. And I go, centipede chickens, guys. You guys got to get them tonight. I look down and I'm eating, not saying anything and having it like go in my brother's brain. And about a half an hour, like, what are centipede chickens? You're eating them. That's what they are. Yeah. I even got the waitress for $5 to go at the thing and tell my brother that it was centipede chickens. Hey, it was well worth it. God dang. That evening, I had two people going outside the thing with flashlights going, bark, bark. Man, I wish I would have videotaped it, but I didn't have it. Now my dad's thing was too big. Come on, Dad, we should have videotaped it. It was hilarious. Two people walking around, it was, yeah. So here it is, like anything else, all the things that we have done, you know, I love spooking them. My brother was just like, how do you do that? You just know. Yeah, I do. So yeah, my siblings were, well, my dad told my brother, we'll call him Voldemort, to be more like me. Of course, as you know, he's got a bigger rack than I do, but he still has everything. From what I heard, I'm not, I don't talk to him. It's just irreconcilable differences as far as I'm concerned, because of the point that he's just not a good person. Nah. Oh no. And I know a lot of stuff, like his driving, like I said, out of all my family members, my brothers are the worst. They are the worst. I told my dad I will never lose another thing with him, which was true because he's not living, but wow, to drive with him, oh yeah. You need what would you need? I'm trying to figure out. I think you need like eye covers. I have them somewhere around here. It's gonna throw them on. You need eye covers. Yeah, you do with my, oh God. Yeah, look at that. It's nice being every time we go by a semi with my one brother. Every time it's like a semi had a suction underneath it. And it was just like pulling the car. I'm like, fuck. I finally said to my dad, what is the deal with him and semis? We get close to the semi, it's like the suction just slowly gets. I'm like, dude, we're almost like you can go and pat the semi on the side. So my dad said, okay, I'll drive the rest of the thing. Fucking God. He always acted like my brother. He said, I gotta give him a little attention because your poor brothers have to deal with you. What do you mean? I didn't do nothing to Chris. Shit, it was Voldemort I had more fun with, and you even helped. My dad would laugh. Yeah, you remember that. A parent's always using their idealities or whatever they can have strung at them. So if they can have a fake monster for as long as they can, they'll use it. I used Santa Claus for years. Ask my son. He said I did a good job because I just don't give a fuck about wrapping. He goes, how did I wrap that up? No, I didn't wrap that up. Oh, you go on Black Friday, a lot of the things that I'd buy would be what I was putting. So if it was a battery operated toy, I'd ask the company, hey, can I just throw it in here? Make sure it's ready to go. Sometimes I just put the batteries in there because a lot of reasons is if it turns on, it will be by the time yeah. So it's a plus plus, but I would always have, it was like some places I'd buy, they'd always have gift wrapping that was free and all the presents looked great because it's not that I suck at it. I'm just, it's not my forte, but some people are real good at it. Yeah. So I held that real long. Oh yeah, Santa Claus is going to be hearing about that. Yeah, I'm remembering that. Yeah. As for my kids never really cared for my brother. And when my brother became a woman, a transvestite, he was super asshole. I was like, who are you? Came into my house one day telling me this, that. I'm like, whoa, I got stuff to do at here. I was going to college at that time. And what are you doing? I'm going to go have some cookies. I wasn't going to say anything because I had a doggy cookie jar. Nice doggy one. It looks like a doggy cookie jar. It says doggy biscuits on there. But no, I had ones that looked like cookies because they were on sale. This one thing was 100% natural. And yep, she had a whole buttload of them. I'm watching her and she's like, yeah, I cannot gain weight. You know, okay. So I waited for her to leave and then went on Facebook. Hi, Facebook. Do you eat these? Do you know what this is? Yeah, that's my cookie jar for my dogs. But apparently my sibling loves them. And 5 hours later, I'm getting calls. You embarrassed me. Did I? How are the cookies? oh, you come into my house when I need to do homework, things I need to learn, and you have to understand you can't control me. Oh, well, if I can't control you, then never mind. Got all mad over eating my dog's biscuits. Jeez, hey. I could see it if I put it in a Tupperware container where it didn't say doggy biscuits. It was in the oh gosh, it was so funny. Oh yeah. I mean, you can't beat it. Someone who's so narrow-minded they can't even read the thing that says doggy biscuits, and I'm thinking, I should have asked if she had a good BM. Anyway, yeah, I don't talk to my sibling. My kids thought my sibling was a control freak, tried to control my son and my daughter and everyone else. And I was just like, oh boy. And then one day, boom, after 2017, left for, Florida. And that's where my sibling's been. And that sibling can stay there. I've never been to Florida or like, I think I've been in, but not like real deep or whatever. And I'm like thinking to myself, wow, yeah, he could stay there. I don't ever want to see my sibling. But it's fun to sit there and think all the things that my sibling's done. I mean, more than anything, I wouldn't say that he. My sibling, I would say, is the type of person that could make a good troll. Now, speaking of trolls, now there's some trolls out there that don't own mirrors, and I am. Oh, come on! He's come on here and pretended to be Mr. X. He called me a. He called me like look, Mr. Troll. Yeah, I know how you feel. Yeah, well, I'll tell you, I'm jealous of you. You got bigger bosoms than me. Oh Lord. Yeah. I remember when I bought this, I was so big I could barely fit in it. Ooh, look at that. So here's the thing, you know, if you have if you want to join up, join, put a thumbs up. Or I got no one here. Oh, got nobody here. Yeah, so I had a troll pretended to be, you got it, pretended to be Mr. X, and we all know who that was. So here it is. By the time I was 16, my brother had a rap sheet that was longer than my arm. My friends would go, oh God, that's your brother? Your? Oh my God. Night and day. That's what they all called me. And it worked the same way in the family. I was called the daylight, and they look at him, oh crap. That's just like the nighttime. I was loved by my father, and my brother was loved by my mom. I was my dad's favorite, and my brother, you get the whole thing. Yeah. My mom was a love muffin. But she did her time. She did, what she had to do. But yeah, I would never do that. So my brother has done a lot of weird things, including stalking me. And he said, which was true, I know the stalking laws. I know where I fall at. And I'm like, oh crap. Thankfully, he didn't say it alone, but it's just, it is what it is, My brother at that time got, and I'm not joking, a bunch of his friends fired. Do you know how he did it? He knew stuff about my friends. Not my friends, his friends. And I sat there and I watched him. I told him, I said, "You're his friends?" Yeah. You know what I told him? You are not his friend. You're not his friend. No one his friend. Not even me. It's him. That's it. They didn't believe me. Those two people who were with him on the reality show for the longest said they had to because he got them fired from their job. So she had to either, move to with mom or, tough it out. She goes, "Oh, yeah, it was horrible." One of his friends said it was like a babysitting job she never had and never wants it again. Yeah. And I said, "To who, your friend or Eric?" And she goes, "Both." She was the adult in that. I was like, some people just don't know. You'll have a sibling like me, and my sibling decided, thank God, to not include me in this story so people don't know he has a sibling. Yeah. Isn't it nice? I get the lucky end of the stick as far as I'm concerned. Because I don't want to be associated with crazy pants. He's just, I think that he did way too much snow in the time he lived in California. And I think it went up to his brain. I don't know. All I know is that I don't get along with my sibling, not because I don't love him or, that person. It's just too much drama. And I don't want my identity stolen again, to be honest. I mean, that's just how he rolls. There's no way you're going to change my sibling. He wants everyone to know him, but what are you going to be known as for? The idiot of the month club? I mean, you got your friends all fired, and then they had to work with you and whatever you had going on. Damn. I don't even, one friend said, "Yeah, we're not going to deal with that person no more." Oh yeah. There's a lot of bridges that my sibling burned, and a lot of good people had to be burned with him. And I feel bad for them. And some of them come up to me, "Yeah, this. Hey, I warn people. Yeah, you may be a smooth talker, but that's where it ends. Once the talking's done, he's spending your money. He really is. He's spending your money." So yeah, he's had, I don't know how many different scams he would come up with. He's going to have this kind of club, this. I go, "Why don't you just figure it out, work hard, save your money, and stop thinking that these scams will ever work?" You know? So, yeah, I'm hoping to get some, money, Moulin Rouge and stuff, work hard, this whole week and weekend. So, yeah, I've been, I guess, taking it easy. Yesterday, I thought, you know what? I put out tons of stuff. I do all this, and sometimes I just get people pissed off, and I really don't mean it. And sometimes it just, we're all stressed out. You get, things going on that I don't say a lot of certain stuff that happens in my life. The only time I really came out and my privacy came open is when I was getting divorced, and I had a bunch of people on my internet, on my chat, and then my ex on the other side yelling and screaming. That was the most stress I've ever dealt with. But like I said, not talking about siblings, but about forgiveness. I forgave my sister-in-law and my ex-sister-in-law and her three daughters, and they came to bat for me. So that's the thought I have about that. How they came to bat for me, and even added information I never knew. I was like, wow, that just blew me away. And that's why, in my heart of hearts, you know, my next guy is not going to have no connection with anybody except me. That's all I want, when it comes to that personal time and stuff like that. Because it was always that way from the time of beginning. It just always was. There was always another person on the side. And that's what I was, told by my ex nieces, that I was not just the only person. And they said that's just wrong. They felt that I was done wrong. And I said, that really did blow me away. It did. I got my rug from exercising today. It has like the, you know what I mean, for moving around. And I lost, no, I'm not high or drunk. I haven't had any alcohol today at all. So, just coffee. It's hard to drink with this. So you can put to the side. Yeah, it's amazing. I consider my dad was very genuine. As I mean, he was a single parent when 97% of the women in the 80s were single parents. My dad was the few and treated not very well. And he's been nothing but a great father to me all through growing up. I always felt like I was protected. My mom, not so much. I'm going to be honest. My grandma, yes. My grandpa, yes. My aunt Karen, yes. My uncle Ken, yes. Unfortunately, my mom didn't make the cut in that one, but that's fine. I had my dad. And my brother didn't have the connection because he had his mom. Yeah, she was in what we call the Club Med. Yeah, she was in Club Med for about 12 years or so. I don't, all I know is when she got out, she really can work good. Yeah. So, hi, how are you? Oh, this is, I decided just to wear like, it's from Halloween. It's just something different. I have the whole Halloween thing, including this is the maid, and then I got the vampire. Yeah, this is an old shirt. Shoot, yeah. So anyway, my siblings, I also had sisters, but I didn't grow up with them. They were really bad drivers. I had one sister that would always get in an accident once a year, and I'm like, well, I'm thinking, well, it's always summer. What is she, you know? And then I realized he told me where it was, and I'm like, near the college? By the running, where the guys run. What do you mean guys? The good looking guys that I used to just, yeah, you didn't know this, but I told my ex, hey, it was parked there. I watched the guys running. At least I'd see something nice running. Yeah, it was near Ann Arbor. My sister was going there, and there was this one stretch of road that she would get in trouble. So I said, just mention it to her that the guys that I mentioned that the guys look good down there, and she quit getting in an accident at that road because she was watching the guys. Yeah, she had a guy, but she was bottlenecking and getting in accidents. So I said, I mentioned that. It's funny how siblings are. I didn't grow up with three of my siblings, and Christabel was adopted because she came from a different relationship. And Christopher didn't know that his father was actually a teacher in Anaheim. I don't know if he still is. And his mom had to know she was pregnant. Came to America and said it was my dad's kid until it came to the point of his blood. And they said to my dad, no, you can't give blood to your son who just got hurt because you don't have the same blood type. So, yeah, boy, was that a way to find out for my dad, he was like, wow, that okay. I said, Grandma wins. She was right. Oh, yeah, my grandma knew that that wasn't my dad's baby. She gave birth a whole 2 months early. Yeah, a whole 2 months, a very healthy child that my brother was, yes. My dad said he didn't care. And then they would like, it's like, because let's just put it this way, my brother was a bad kid, and for a while, my brother got in trouble in school because he had a teacher that was like Mrs. She just caused him a lot of problems. So he had to go to a different school for a while until the problems were resolved. My brother's like, man, they're still talking about that one teacher you got to make quit. And I go, oh, it's still, that story's still going on strong. I heard. I was a, I was a little whippersnapper. I was a whippersnapper, man. I was like, what'd you say? What do you mean? Only certain people get education, so everyone else you don't like, you're going to go, oh, we'll get enough. Oh, I see. Yeah, bitch. Well, anyway, my brother said they still talk about that one teacher. I go, I know. How I got her to not be that way, and to go, well, more or less they told her to go to, they knew she wasn't going to change what she was going to do, and they just put her in elementary. But my brother he was the first one to go into the high school, and they rebuilt a whole new school because the school that I use is was built in the 70s, and they have a multi-million, it's like 2 million or 10 million something $1 million thing over for the high school my brother went to. I drove by, I said, oh fuck, that looks like the mall. My school looks like, like a matchbox. His thing's like mega big. You got the swimming pool. I go, jeez, this is fucking cool. What did I get stuck with? Oh, and my brother goes, no, I got stuck with, you're nothing like your sister. He goes, I know. Now Christopher knows why he wasn't much like me. Because he really wasn't. And he was like his mom. Yeah, I ruled the high school. The time I was in high school, I had a blast. I was in the theater group. They always put me as the Asian fucking woman. Yeah, I got put in as an Asian woman in anything they had, including MASH. I was put as the Asian woman. No, I didn't get hot lips because I didn't have hot lips. No one wanted my lips. No, it wasn't that way. It's just, my joke was, yep, I'm the blonde and I get stuck playing the Asian. I do. I get stuck every time. My dad would see me with my hair. I just dye half my hair because I said, hell with that. We'll put the fake braids in and call it a day. I'm not doing my whole hair. So I do half my hair, just the top part. And then I'd be the Asian woman of the time. And my dad realized, he goes, oh, you're playing another Asian. Yeah, damn. I'm playing another Asian. And my brother would make fun, go, dude, you're an Asian woman. I told my brother, boy, you're what, 4 years behind me? Uh-huh. And I remember looking, you're never going to go to my high school. No. And he didn't. And it wasn't just saying it, it's because I knew he was going to live with my mom. He wasn't, the state of Michigan didn't want my brother back. So when my brother let's just put it this way, my mom and brother got in trouble together with the police. They sent my brother to a Christian school. And yeah, it further made it more fun because after that, when he screw you over good, you go, and God bless you. I got screwed over and a God bless you. Woo! Yeah, because that's what I would get. God bless you. Oh yeah, you're gonna steal my identity. Yeah. I told family members, steer clear of it. My sibling. My sibling's a whole one, massive darkness. He needs a little light. Like you got to get like a big flashlight and put it in and say, God, it's a black hole. My sibling's the black hole. Oh shit. That's how I felt. I really did. I was like, damn. A lot of times we deal with siblings when they're that way. It is the best thing to do is not have them in your life. I haven't talked to my sibling since 2019. No, 2019? I think it was 2019. So I'm doing pretty good. I think I'll be even better the longer I don't even talk to myself. Trust me. I can't deal with that person stealing my identity anymore. This person's just not very good. I'm sure the phone number he was using for that reality show, he used the phone number. He stole the phone and used my identity and thought it was funny to be. You know why it was? It was a power thing to show that he can be Stefania. He may put out that he can be Stefania, but now I put protection on it because I'm like, one day I even seen, when you put protection, it tells you, they if someone's like getting, you know, credit or anything with your stuff. Yeah. Being that my sibling no longer lives on the West Coast, oh yeah, it's super hard. And I love that. Keep that son bitch over in Florida because good Lord, there's some, yeah. My brother, I just don't want him to come back. I don't want to deal with him. I got two papers showing stuff I didn't rack up. Yeah, like the family said, I am the light. He's the fucking dark. And I do meditate and do all that for him, but there's only so much you can do. And then there's my brother Christopher, who made sure all my shit that was left at my dad's house would never be returned, and he would just give it to his new siblings that he adopted. My brother's a Muslim and looks at women like what I'm looking at is looked at me like I was nothing. So I do not talk to him. I have a lot of things that I did want eventually back, but apparently he thought that I didn't deserve anything and I wasn't family no more. And that's what he pretty well told me. I'm like, wow, he's not going to hear from me. Oh, yeah. It was like two people telling me about how big Devin is. I'm like, why don't you message them? Oh, yeah, my son don't want to talk to you. Because he had stuff there too that went gone. The sad thing is, not every, and I'm going to be honest, just because you visit a therapist doesn't mean you're well. Okay? It means that you want to see how, am I thinking right? Am I crazy? Am I this? And you're asking the professional what you're thinking of. Is this, normal thinking? Am I overdoing it? In a lot of cases, it's us overdoing it and over exaggerating and getting ourselves hyped up of nothing. All right. But it's also the same thing, when you feel it's like, how did I say this? I don't get warm feelings for my siblings. The unfortunate thing is, I didn't grow up and I wasn't around them enough to really, I hate to say, Chris was the closest one, and he hurt me the most after my father died. And it was just like, dude, you got to understand people, his, he went to the funeral home, and this is the funeral home acted like he and my stepmom were a couple, and it just creeped me out. I was like, dude, man, okay, I'm not gonna say nothing. You walk your own walk. I'm just, yeah, I don't talk to him. And my other siblings, my one sister was dating a guy. What a winner. My dad used to nickname him, call him Brain Pup Boy. And I go, why? He has a brain pup in his head. I go, Jesus, really? And apparently, well, his family, I don't know how it went. What, because he had studied, you know, um, I think, violin or something, and he was going to go and get a big time job in Texas, sober, dealing with classical music. I'm like, well, good luck to him on that, you know? Okay. And my sister, who my dad put in this one expensive school, is working at a doggy shampoo place. Oh, yay. Yeah. I remember telling my dad that you must bring the warm cockles to your mind about having that. My dad says, oh, rub it in. And I go, I told you, Dad, let her pick what she wants. If she doesn't want, if she wants to work over at a doggy, animal place, then let her do it. She's a manager. Woo! My dad said, "You're very funny stuff." I go, you know, if is she selling drugs? No, she's doing something good. Makes her feel good. She loves animals. He goes, oh, okay. My daughter, she's still not talking to me. I'm hoping one day she comes back. I love taking her shopping. You know why? She dressed me up. Yeah. Where'd she? I got that from my daughter. Yeah. I get things my daughter knew and knows I like this pushing cat. She got me into this pushing cat, and it's like a cat with legs about this big all the way around, four legs, and it's like this big fluffy fat cat. And I'm like, oh, cool. And I got a skirt with it. And my daughter got me, I think I got myself like a thing that matched the skirt and, other stuff. But it's amazing how when you grow up and you see your siblings and you think, my siblings always thought that they were one up on me. And now I go, yeah, really? My dad would go watch stuff. Oh, dad keeps me informed. Yeah. My siblings always thought, I'm going to have one up on you. Yeah. They never have yet, except when it came to my dad's stuff. They had one up on me and helped screw me over. So, yeah. I didn't live in Michigan, and I got screwed-doo with them. So that's the way it goes. All right. Wow, we got 0 people here. Wow. It's like super quiet. Wow. I can hear crickets. Cricket, cricket. I'm just going to sit here. I think my family, my dad did the best he could, and I applaud him. Eric was the hardest person I've ever had to watch as any kid. You would tell him to stay in his room, you would tell him to stay whatever, and he just did whatever he wanted. So I finally said to my dad, I'm 12 and have an an 8-year-old that was like crawling the walls. And I just said to my dad, I can't do this summer. I did it one summer. I stayed home in Michigan, and it was horrible. I'll never do it again. I said, it was not worth it. Yeah, no one. My grandmother did not want my brother there. She said that my brother just was too much of a child for her. He had attention deficit disorder. He had all kinds of stuff going on, and you're like, wowie. Yeah. So I went to California. My brother would go somewhere else, and my family would take him on vacation with them because I dang well didn't want to spend time with my brother. No, it and someone, he was always constant. It was like I said, when I got my headphones on, I just drowned him out. So yeah. So as siblings, I don't get along with my brother. And I have in the past tried and put out, you know, wanting to I guess you can say, I did the best I could. I was 12. My dad realized I said, I really just can't deal with this. And it was, my brother, as always, caused my dad a lot of pain. And I said to him, you don't remember that, but he thought it was funny when he messed up with my dad's love life. I go, what a lovely one you are. Woo-wee. Yeah, I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna be it's just, yeah, I'm glad he lives in Florida. I really am. Yeah, he's the worst person. It's like he's not your friend. I've learned that a long time ago. Every so often he'll call me up and I just won't answer. It's just not worth it. Every time it's just we get in an argument for something that happened in the past. And he said, why didn't you vote whatever in the family? I go, it was my vote. You weren't there. Your vote was counted when you wanted a $1 million truck that my dad couldn't afford and you couldn't afford the payments. Who was going to opt it? Because if I would have voted yes, I would have had to come up with the payments. I'm not going to vote yes if I don't have the money for the payments. And that's just, how I feel. And that's what we got in an argument last. I'm not going to vote for something that's not mine to vote. It's pretty dead. Okay. Well, it looks like the hour's up and, all that wonderful jazz. I'll see you tomorrow. All right.